As well as Be Yourself As Well As Art, the anti-chat show, here in the snowy East Village, with the new boots. We were forced to buy the boots. Where are the new boots? Let's see. Can we see the new boots? That's the new boots against the new snow. Look at that, huh?
Where are you? Well, Tom, our very special guest today is a young man of supreme, riveting intellect, and he's been a long-time friend of mine. I'm most involved in his various causes, and just a word from Allan Dorson at this time, I think, would mean a lot to a lot of people, so let's take it away.
Thank you again, Joe.
Well, I want to thank Mr. Franklin for those words of wisdom. I think that they may be a bit lofty for somebody like myself, but my name is Allan Dorson, and I am the director of the International Black Film Festival. How we differ from various other organizations is that we realize that the importance of film in the current age, because unfortunately we live in a time when most Americans no longer get the bulk of their information from media sources or print sources, but they also get it from the internet and various other places. So we currently are using film as a way of increasing public awareness. We screen films on very important social issues and then get the community involved in discussions and at venues that are free and open to the public.
Where do you have these? Can you give us some locations and also some of the movies as well?
Yes, certainly. Currently, we're housed at the New York Society for Ethical Culture, and I'm proud to say that it's been a very fruitful partnership that we've had with them. We are glad that they've seen to it that or they feel that what we've done is important enough to bring it in-house there. We have done various films on things like the system of banishments and over 100 years ago, where African Americans, as for instance, were told to get out of town or die. We've done films on the Afro-Russians after the breakup of the Soviet Union, the contributions or the partnership between Africa and Poland prior to and after World War II. We've done films about the Congo. We've covered a litany of social topics, and of course this coming program year I'm very, very happy about it. Of course, I'm very excited that what we have coming up will be programs that will address issues that are important to women, as well as issues of race and healthcare, which is one of the quintessential things that our Americans will be faced with over the next decade. And of course, immigration. And one film that we're very proud to say that we'll be screening is called The End of Poverty, which actually puts world poverty in a historical perspective.
It sounds great. It sounds like you really cover a lot of things, just not addressing the African American community or the African community and the African diaspora, but also gender in immigration, which is also inclusive, because, you know, there's always someone who seems to be marginalized in our society, and it seems to be accepted. And we should not stand for any acceptance of anyone to be marginalized, whether you're gay, whether you're whatever your particular venue, forte, etc., and so on.
Well, actually, that's true. And in fact, last year in June, we showed a film called Wubi Shari, which is about the West African gay community. And as you know, in 35 countries in Africa, homosexuality is, of course, a crime. Of course, we don't make any statements pro or con about the films that we show. We do what's called social negotiation. That is, that we present an issue and then we allow it to be openly discussed by members of the community. And we do that so that all aspects of a conversation or all viewpoints will feel welcome, you know, in our forum, because we think that one of the things that that can be strengthened that will help strengthen our democracy is a social negotiation. That is to take, not to be timid about discussing things, whether it's race or whether it's healthcare or whether it's immigration, but actually to openly discuss these things as opposed to harbor ill feelings or ill thoughts. And in the confines of modifying social cultural variables, our job is then to just supply information and increase exposure. So consequently, although we're the International Black Film Festival, I would say 30% of our demographic, our audience is white, and actually we have about 60% of our audience is female.
Time. What's your last name?
Be Yourself as Well as Art, the Andy Chat Show with Mike Schoffel here. He's going to be accompanying our famous singing lawyer later, David Chang, on the stand-up bass. But this is no regular stand-up bass. Before we look at it, Mike, could you tell us how you made it and what's going on with it?
Well, you all heard of the old wash tub bass,
right?
The kind that has just a wash tub that
spinning on the side,
sits this way, and there's like one string. This is a wash tub bass with the full four strings on it. And
give us a spin. Spin it around.
Here's a spin.
Give it a spin.
Give it a spin. Here's a spin.
Wow.
See, it's made out of a real wash tub.
Yeah, look, and you have. Yeah. And you see, when you hooked it up here, you spin it again. Spin it. All right, hold it.
I got to put some stickers on it.
You got also. I mean, you were at the Holland Bar with a round one.
With a round one, yeah.
And this is a longer one.
It's
I think
a long one.
How is the acoustics on this one compared to the old one?
It's not as loud acoustically, so.
But
it's plugged into an amp.
But the other one wasn't plugged into the amp.
Even that one you had to plug into.
What did you do with your old one? Didn't you give it to your cousin or something?
Gave it to my niece.
Yeah, you're too much. You're a good uncle.
It's just too big.
Does she do a laundry in it?
Who knows? Who knows what she did with it? Maybe who knows? Maybe she ditched it. Who knows?
Well, John, have you ever seen anything like this in your life?
No, like I said, first time seeing something like this.
What?
It's good.
It's the first time?
I'm seeing this, yeah. I never saw this before. We should have this copyrighted.
Copyrighted? I think you'd have to have it patented, is what you're saying.
Too. Patent.
Patent, copyright, copy down?
No, it's not original enough to warrant a copyright.
I think you should.
Other people have made stuff. I got the plans to build this off of the internet.
Uh-huh.
How to build a wash tub 4-string bass.
All right, well, Be Yourself as Well as Art. We'll be back in a moment with one of Mr. Schoffel's famous. And Mr. Schoefeld, you're also a fond appreciator of greyhounds.
Greyhounds.
And where can we help the greyhounds?
www.greyhoundrescuerehab.org or www.gratefulgreyhounds.org. I happen to own 2 of them, and I'm fostering one right now, so I got 3 greyhounds in my apartment.
So if anybody needs a greyhound, get to Tom at Be Yourself as Well.
Greyhound, yeah.
Or come to Tom at Be Yourself as Well as Art. We'll get you. We'll get you the Michael Schoffel.
Yeah.
Not Schoffel, Schoffel.
Schoffel. There's many different ways to pronounce it.
You've been shuffling your Schoffel for a long time.
I've been shuffling my name around for years.
Good man, good man. Keep going. Be Yourself as Well as Art with Joe Franklin.
Hello?
That was good.
I just got to work tomorrow, 5 o'clock until I swim. Tom, our next guest, a very exciting young man. On your program, our next guest is a young man who's making a lot of noise around town. I would say he's dazzling, he's sparkling, he's got that glitter. He's a gentleman who works with his own stand-up homemade bass, and he's really unique. I think this is going to be the young man to watch in the year 2011. His name is Mike Schoefeld, and I've been a long-time admirer, and to have him on your show right now I think will be a double treat for me and for the audience out there. So here is Mike Schoefeld. He's really tops in his field.
Well, no one can say it better than Joe Franklin, man of memory lane. Be Yourself as Well as Art with Joe Franklin.
Folks, we got a real treat in store for you tonight. We got the Michael Schoefeld with his newest contraption of the bass. Here he is, folks.
Well, that's all right, Mama. That's all right for you. That's all right, Mama. Any way you're doing, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, Mama. Any way you do. Well, Mama, she done told me. Papa done told me too. So that girl you're fooling with, she ain't no good for you, and that's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, Mama. Any way you do.
Going to
in town
Joe's.
for show. And you won't be bothered with me hanging round your door. And that's alright. That's alright. That's alright now, mama. Any way you do.
It's no Stradivarius, but boy, it's fun.
Mr. Schoefeld will be on Broadway next week.
Hold on 1 second. What is your prediction?
Mr. Schoefeld will be on Broadway next week, #1.
Number 1. Joe, how do you feel about this?
Well, I just got the word that he's opening at the International House of Pancakes.
Thank you very much. Be yourself as well as art with Mr. Schoefeld. Mike, what do you have to say about all this, the newfound...
I messed up a couple of parts there.
It was still fantastic.
But it's the instrument. The instrument. It's the instrument. It's new. You know, everybody's
Yeah.
new. Now you're going to get it right when you accompany Mr. Chang, I hope.
Oh, yeah.
And what are you going to play today, Mr. Chang?
What are you going to sing, you mean?
Thank God you're here, Joe. Take your time. Take your time. Oh,
Take your time and hurry up.
what is it? Slow down, hurry up.
Oh, this is from La Mancha? Oh, this is from...
Who do the intro? You want to do it?
Okay, right. Folks, here we are at Uncle Joe's for another thrilling afternoon. We have the singing attorney doing one of the main songs from Man of La Mancha, being accompanied by Mr. Schoefeld on the bass. Thank you, folks.
All right.
To dream the impossible dream, to fight unbeatable foe, to bear with unbearable sorrow, to run where the bird cannot go, to right the unrightable wrong, to be better far than you are, to try when your arms are too weary, to reach the unreachable star. This is my quest to follow the star, no matter how hopeless, no matter how far, and to fight for the right without questing and pause, to be willing to march into hell for a heavenly cause. And I know if I only be true to the glorious quest, that my heart will lie peaceful and calm when I lay to my rest. And the world will be better for this, that one man's calm and cowardly calm, still strong with his last ounce of courage to reach the unreachable star.
Very good, Mr. Chang. Oh, Mr. Schoefeld. Joe Franklin. And our famous man.
Sir, I don't know what to say. It was stupendous.
And what is your name, my favorite friend?
Donny Diamonds.
Donny Diamonds. All right. Pull shop. And we have John.
That was terrific.
You like that, John? Did you cry, John?
No.
Why didn't you cry? You only crying when he sang the what? What song did you cry on when he sang it? Come on.
The
Titanic.
Titanic, yeah, Titanic.
My heart will go on.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Titanic.
Mr. Franklin, what is your take on this?
Well, the other night, it so happens I was in a very important, very elegant Chinese restaurant, and they gave me my fortune cookie, which I took out and broke it in half, and it said on the cookie that the next big star in this country is going to be David Chang, the singing attorney, and I will second that emotion.
Emotion. Oi! Thank you very much, Mr. Franklin.
Thank you. Half hour.
Yeah, you like the ventures, obviously, huh?
Oh, this is from the Ventures. The Ventures. Walk, don't
Hey, Mike, answer the other phone. Mike will get it. Give it to Mike. Answer the phone, Mike.
I can't get in there. I
can't answer Joe.
Yeah. You see Joe Franklin's office. Grab it.
He's got it in his hand.
Come on, you listen. Everyone's got to answer the phones here. This is not, He doesn't. He's got to get it with you.
100%.
No, make it. You know what?
Anybody know why this?
That was Pipeline by the Ventures.
Pipeline?
Actually, though, it was
No
on
idea, but it could have
And
been
was that
years.
who's that song go out to? Your wife, Mickey?
Don't need it.
No,
the
Everyone was
dog.
working on the
Yeah,
Alaska
this thing.
Pipeline.
Okay, all right. Hold
Come back.
Baby.
Well, you may go to college.
Oh yeah.
You may go to school.
Oh baby.
You may have a pink Cadillac, but don't you be nobody's fool. Now, baby, come back, baby, come. Come back, baby, come.
Oh yeah, baby.
Come back, baby, I want to play house with you.
Oh yeah, I want to play house.
Well, listen, let me tell you, baby,
Tell her, baby.
what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Come on back to me, little girl, so we can play some house now, baby. Come back, baby, come.
Oh.
Come back, baby, come.
Oh.
Come back, baby, I want to play house.
Fantastic.
Well, listen, let me tell you, baby, what I'm talking about. Come on back and let's play a little house so we can act like we did before. Now, baby, come back, baby, come. Come back, baby, come. Come back, baby, I want to play house with you.
Oh.
That was fantastic.
Be yourself as well as on the Andy Chat Show. Michael Schoefel, David Chang, the singing lawyer,
Johnny Diamonds.
Johnny Diamonds,
Johnny Revere.
Johnny, and the famous
Joe Frank.
Joe Franco Memory Lane.
I'm in the mood for more of David's singing attorney. He's my favorite successor to Bing Crosby and Frank Sinatra. So let's have more of Mr. Chang.
All right, Mr. Chang, he's calling out for another song.
Folks, by popular demand, he's back for your listening pleasure, the singing attorney, David, and accompanied by Mr. Schoefeld on the bass.
You have the name, the title. More.
Tell us the title.
Sing the toast, yeah.
I gotta get my glasses.
More, just more.
Oh, more.
One more.
David will be singing more for your listening pleasure.
Better not to be less. Go ahead.
More than the greatest love the world has known. This is a love I give to you alone. More than the simple word I try to say. I only live to love you more each day. More than you'll ever know. My arms long to hold you so. My life will be in your keeping, waking, sleeping, laughing, weeping. Longer than always is a long, long time, but far beyond forever you'll be mine. I know I never lived before, and my heart is very sure no one else could love you more. Longer than always is a long, long time, but far beyond forever you'll be mine. I know I never lived before, and my heart is very sure no one else could love you more.
Bravo, David Chang.
Bravo.
David Chang. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Bravo! That was
Bravo.
What do you think about that, John?
Great. I didn't cry again.
Oh, you're just holding it back, aren't you?
No. Because that's the song. That's not the song that make me cry.
All right.
David is Broadway bound in his one-man show.
That's
David,
for sure. I wanna
what
do
do we have? What's in store for us next? Only the future can tell, right, David?
Let me see.
Let me look through.
I'll try this one.
Okay,
Try the one first.
On the street,
This
World, the Eastern world, it is exploding, violence flaring, bullets loading. You're old enough to kill, but not for voting. You don't believe in war, but what that's gun you're toting. And even the Jordan River has bodies floating, yet you tell me over and over and over again, my friends, you don't believe we're on that eve of destruction. Well, take a look around to Selma, Alabama. Well, you may leave here for 4 days in space, but when you return, it's the same old place. The pounding of the drums, the pride and disgrace. Well, you can bury your dead, but don't leave a trace. Hate your next door neighbor, but don't forget to say, baby, tell me over and over and over again, my friends. You don't believe we're on the eve of destruction.
Thank you.
Donny Diamond and the famous Mr. Schoefeld
Improvising
on
Yo, what do you think? I got a future?
Guaranteed.
homemade.
where is he going to have to go?
Great.
Tom.
Yes.
Get David one more. Hurry up.
Okay, one more. You ready, David?
I'm going to announce it. By popular demand, here he is again, that singing attorney, Mr. Chang with Mr. Schoefeld. On the Street Where You Live by My Fair Lady.
I have often walked down the street before, but the pavement always stayed beneath my feet before. All at once am I several stories high, looking eye on the street where you live. Are there lilac tree in the heart of town? Can you hear unlocked in any other part of town? Does enchantment pour out of every door? No, it's just on the street where you live. And oh, the towering feeling just to know somehow you are near. The overpowering feeling that any second you may suddenly appear. People stop by, they don't bother me, for there's nowhere else on earth I would rather be. Let the time go by, I won't care if I can't be here on the street where you live.
Very good, David Chang. What do you think about that, Joe?
I think, Tom, that we outdid ourselves today. I've never seen this kind of a rapport. And I'll be following this program for many, many years to come on the channels and following the career of Tom Regan, who I think is the next Ed Sullivan and Lawrence Welk combined. Thank you.
What about what do you call it? The guy with the piano, what's his name? Liberace.
Liberace and Shmuel Pincus and Ishmael Kaduchas are all very dear friends of mine. Thank you.
You don't do that. You have to
Well, you know that I'm a fanatic on poetry. I love poetry. And if they don't shut up, I'll hit them all in the head. Will you be quiet for a second?
Come on, you big McCushions.
Start it again.
Okay. 2, 3.
As you know, Tom, I am a fanatic. I'm an avid, ardent supporter and rooter for poetry. When it comes to the tops in that category, the Wasaic County Poets Society is, in my estimation, tops. Brilliant. I mean, really in a class all by themselves, and to have some samplings right now of their work, I think is going to be a real TV scoop, real exclusive, and I'm very happy to announce that Tom Regan is making it possible. Take it away, poets.
Well, Joe also was the first one to find a Wasaic group. Once again, he's the founder of the Wasaic Appreciators Association for the Wasaic Project in upstate New York, which happens in every August. Be Yourself as Well as Art with Joe Franklin and the Wasaic Project.
Just because it is clean doesn't mean it's empty. It is best not to iron a pillar of salt. Nothing resembles the narration of nothing. If the corner is green, forsake it. When faced with a garden hose, seek an empty administrator. If you pass an angry nun, go for the gold. Terrible.
I've always wanted this position, but I wouldn't have it before.
We need to give you one of those things, you know.
Have it big, eh?
Wig.
Yeah.
All right, before I read This is going to be a conflict. How long have I been going on? This is called Harbor Song, and it was written for an amazing musician who graduated this summer in the Bard MFA, where I teach. Actually, I've been teaching in the Bard MFA for 20 years, so this was my 20th anniversary. Anyway, this amazing musician, composer, drummer, did a performance actually last year, and his name is Abraham Gomez Delgado, and this is for him. It's called Harbor Song. The long elation of our candor collapses in a small yard, backwoods incessant beats, backwoods the very nerve of fidelity. But say something else. Say the graphic doodles are conditioned into froth in the arguing hills over there. The days perish wanting the simplest ties, and the flexible branch lifts and falls, a kind of wave. Sooner or later we will enter Abraham's drum, and the wet slide of his hair will abolish our simple room-like conditions. The invisible slope will drain into drops while Abraham beats and beats his forgiving set. Are the ancient songs contested? Are we too long in the cave on the island in an insular petty drift? Questions are stained cups. The heart skips a beat. Abraham wanders off in a mood of melancholy triumph. The others, his mistresses, huddle on the floor. His mistresses are part of the inventoried world. They can be counted. They can be sent away to join others, parts of others. They can be treated like sentences in the inventoried world. See their rush of silver and skin, their elastic torsos bending, their sonic reverb, gaping mouths. Soon they will become an incandescent spray that Abraham will arrange in his harbor. Do not shut the windows. The sounds from the sea are important. They resemble notes or drops. Abraham resembles Abraham, but is not Abraham.
Ooh, well, I got her with a reggae machine when it comes to rocking. She's a queen, love dance on a Saturday night. Oh Lord, I can hold her tight, but she lives on the 20th floor of town. The elevator's broken down, so I'm on to 5354.